இயற்கையான டேட்ஸ், பாதாம், பிஸ்தா, கேஷ்யூ and honey கொண்டு தயாரிக்கப்பட்ட Lion Date Nut Bites.
Slate today, slate tomorrow.
Next phase. Next is now.
No compromise. Unga side liya, enga side liya.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
We're not going to get a chance to pit under code 60. So back to green flag racing we go then.
And the crucial thing here is the treble 6 car of Cao Chi Quan is still in the fueling area. The nozzle, well, he's left now. Why didn't they not fuel it for a little bit longer than that? Because they could have taken quite a bit more allocation as it turned green. That's our reading of the regulations at least. Here's Ben.
Yeah, they left just as we went back to green, so presumably the nozzle was already out. The team that benefited massively from that is Simpson Motorsport. They are still in there with their Continental Racing Audi, and there was a big celebration in the garage because they know that what you've been talking about has just fallen their way.
Even though the fuel wasn't flowing, I would have kept the nozzle in, waited for the green flag and then given it another big old blast.
Lose a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But Ben's spot on. Continental Racing by Audi, the fact that their nozzle was in as we went to green, they then get a full slop up, and so that means now that Audi, which is a quick car, the balance of performance is fairly similar to what we had in Barcelona, and Audi was a rocket ship in Barcelona. So they could well be bringing back into the mix here. And Alexander Bukansov has put in a really strong stint, starting from the pit lane. Keep an eye on that car. But you mentioned it, Bruce, going into code 60. What was it? It was 18 seconds. Now only 14 seconds. And race leading Absolute Racing number 10 Porsche to the Climax AMG 999.
Alexander Bukansov and Kei Nakanishi are in the fueling area, mind you. That's the 69 Audi from Continental Racing and the Ferrari, the lone Ferrari in the entry for LM Corsa. So they will be some of the longest stops that we've had in this bout of them in GT3.
And our two leading cars did not pit
at all. So
they may well have been just on the wrong side of it, because the Red Ant car and the Viper Niza Mercedes, they were in 5th and 6th, and it just came out at the time when they went into the pit lane. So that would have meant that Luke Hartog in the lead in the Climax Racing car of Tanat Satin Tirikul in sector 1 at that point, the code 60 came out, and it takes a long time, over 5 minutes to go around on a code 60 lap.
Yeah.
So they must have missed their opportunity to get into the pit. So now Absolute Racing in the lead and Climax AMG are now behind the 8 ball a little bit on strategy. Do that now.
No.
Yeah, that was basically a Herberth rule that they've had to bring in to stop that happening.
When you say you can't do it, does that mean that you can only pit once during any code 60?
Unless I think it's either half an hour or an hour now.
It's an hour. So if you have a code 60, gosh, let's hope we don't, for more than an hour, you can get a second batch for 25%.
Because they've worked out that 25% of your fuel allocation is enough
at
to
code
do
60 speed.
At code 60 speeds to do an hour. All right. Well, I didn't do the calculation. Somebody else far cleverer than I has done, and we reliably informed that's enough fuel.
But they're in the game now, because they took their 25% that they could put in the fuel. They've also put new tyres on, and they've just installed Ralph Bowen, who's they've just taken their pro out and they put their AM driver in, and I say that in big inverted commas, because Ralph Bowen, as we were discussing, Bruce and I, before we came on air, is one of the best bronze drivers in the world, in my opinion, and he's just put in a 205.6, so he's making full use of those new Michelin tyres and really getting the best out of them, way quicker than the leaders, who are still on the old tyres, though, of course.
Yeah, worth pointing out the first two cars, Luke Hartog leading by 18 seconds from Tanat Satin Tirikul, so Absolute Racing Porsche from Climax Racing Mercedes have yet to pit. But the real battle out on track is the Ajith Red Ant Racing Mercedes being harried by the car that was running third in the opening stage of the race. Now, Liu Hongcheng at the wheel of car number 87, which is the Origin Motorsport Porsche. So that's a flipping around of the positions. But really, I'm waiting to see how it's going to pan out for the first two. Luke Hartog has walked on water, but let's not talk about walking on water. That might be later in the race, as it becomes a little bit grayer looking out of the window of our commentary box here on the Sepang International Circuit. We're facing across the start-finish straight to the giant canopied grandstand beyond, but the sun that was here when we were on the grid has disappeared for the moment. Does that mean rain's on the way? No, not necessarily.
And the fight for 4th place between the white and red Mercedes AMG number 93 of Ayrton Redon and Liu Hongcheng in the 87 Origin Porsche is a little bit skewed, because Fuel-wise, they're going to be fairly similar, but tyre age, they're totally different because Red Ant did not put tyres on that Mercedes when they came in for that pit stop. I think because the Code 60 came out just as they were hitting the pit entry. I don't think they had tyres ready, actually. That would be the only explanation, because you think you want to put them on if you can. But Luo Hung Chung is now going to try and hook it all the way around the outside now of Ayrton Redon, and now is on the inside. Redon is toughing it out, really doing a great job on these old tyres. 30 laps in this heat on this type of character of circuit. Paul Meyer mentioned how slippy and slidey it is. That, of course, wears the tyre as well, puts more temperature through them. Redon doing a great job to hold them at bay.
So through the second of the quick right-handers there, 7 and 8. The second of those known as the KLIA, or Clear Curve, named after the airport, which is just down the road. Perfect for those flying from distance, as we have done, to then find the Petronas Sepang International Circuit, just a short distance away. The downside of that is you miss out on a visit to Kuala Lumpur city centre, but I think we're factoring that in for tomorrow.
Most certainly.
Through the left-hander at 12 and venturing towards the Sunway Lagoon corner. There's quite a bit more cloud cover, though, now over the start-finish straight, the pit lane. A little bit wide there from Redont, whereas squaring off the corner in behind was Luo Hung Chung in Origin Motorsports Porsche. So different approach to turn 14, but actually the net result is it's about the same exit speed for both cars. Very late on the brakes indeed from Leo. And he got the Porsche stopped just about, but there was a fear, I'm sure, briefly in his mind that he might clatter into the back of the Mercedes. All is fine. They shoot past our commentary position, and this is still the fight for 4th and 5th places.
Of course, Luo Hung Chung in that Origin car, that is an AM class car, so they would have got 40% fuel at that Code 60, of course. So they're a little bit better on the fuel than Redon are, but they're doing a great job there to keep them at bay. Ayrton Redon parking the Mercedes on the apex to make it very, very difficult to try and make any kind of move.
Yeah, every lap he can do like this, he's got the pain. He's got to go through the pain, not drop it. And Luo Hung Chung is not taking no for an answer, up into turn 4. Yep, job done. But at that point, Ayrton Redon would have gone, I'm hanging on as much as I can. Ben, what's the news from the pit lane?
Into the pits for the Be Quick Absolute Racing Machine. Now, I thought, is that a regular pit stop? Is there them just being forced to come in under green flag conditions because of fuel? No.
இயற்கையான டேட்ஸ் பாதாம் பிஸ்தா கேஷு அண்ட் ஹனி கொண்டு தயாரிக்கப்பட்ட லயன் டேட் நட் பைட்ஸ்.
Slate today, slate tomorrow. Next phase. Next is now.
No compromise. உங்க சைடுலயும் எங்க சைடுலயும்.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.